On Salvage Hunters, it's Salvage Hunter versus Hoarders.
I'm a dealer's nightmare in that I won't part with anything.
Drew gets a lesson in negotiation.
Cash.
And a lesson in frustration.
He won't let me buy anything.
Oh my God, yes!
But can he beat the men who never sell?
Definitely a tough nut to crack, this one.
Drew Pritchard is one of Britain's leading decorative salvage dealers.
Hello? You have got the best place in the whole world.
He scours the country in search of weird and wonderful objects.
Woo! That's a mantique.
There's nowhere he won't go and nothing he won't consider. Helped by his wife, Rebecca.
Yeah, he was telling me he drove in a tank. Now, if that's not midlife crisis, what is?
And a team of renovators, he transforms thousands of items from junk to gems, which then find new homes in houses, bars, restaurants, or even lighting up the street.
Yeah.
Salvage hunters are an odd breed, hunting down the weird and the wonderful, but they're nothing compared to the legendary British hoarder.
This week we've set ourselves a challenge of going to see some hoarders, collectors, eccentrics, whatever you want to call them, God love them, we need them. They don't really want to sell anything, and they never want to sell anything, but they've got plenty to sell. And these guys, the one thing that knits them together is the fact that they absolutely adore what they're collecting. They really, really do. I'm sure they'll sell me something.
Drew and his sidekick Julian set out on a 5-hour drive to Dorchester to lock horns with their first hoarder, Jeff Tight.
Scrapyard's been here 60-odd year, so took it over from my father. He's 89, so he's getting on a bit, but he's all right. He comes out and does a few things. We buy in mainly cars. We have a few lorries and farm implements.
What do you reckon, left or right?
Right.
Right it is.
You look left.
You said go right.
I'm not the driver!
I'm going right now. Have a look, see if there's anything. Ooh, looks promising. This is great. There's tons of stuff here, tons of stuff. Hello.
How you do?
I'm Drew.
Yeah, I'm Jeff.
Jeff, this is Jules.
Yeah, how you do?
Hello, Jeff. This place looks really promising.
There's a few cars growing the brambles there.
What's
He's
this?
a diesel roller. That
Diesel
one.
roller?
He was petrol paraffin, but he's converted to diesel.
I've just driven one of those. Brilliant fun, though, to drive.
So it's worth more for scrap than it's what's worth as a roller.
What's it worth like that?
He's about 6 ton nuts, so he's like 1,200 quid without the engine even.
Oh, just because of the scrap value?
Just, yeah, just for the weight of it. So,
Seems a shame to weigh it in, doesn't it?
yeah, that's why it's still here. Money and everything, is it?
But no, but definitely no. I couldn't.
No.
Not my sort of thing.
Jeff's yard is full of cars and vans, but some of them have been there so long, identifying them is impossible. This is clearly not going to be straightforward for Drew.
Some Studebakers.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Been there a couple of years. There's something father collected years ago. He's always liked things like that.
Well, there's 2 in there, is there?
There is, yeah. There's one behind as well.
Blimey, they've been there a while, haven't they?
The American classic can be worth as much as £12,000 if fully restored. This one is worth a bit less.
No, I'm going to take them, Jules. Get them on the van.
Yeah, load them up.
I'll get a shovel. Dig them out.
There's a werewolf next door.
That's fine. Good deal. Yeah.
He won't come out till after dark, you'll be all right.
We'll go around the other side. There's just so much stuff here. It's just, and it's been here an awful long time.
Drew thinks he's spotted a gem, an early 20th century wrought iron gate.
Is there another gate to go with this, Jeff? It's just the one of these gates here. Do you know where there's another one? Where the other one is?
No, I think it must be just that one, I think.
That's a shame.
But half of it is missing, and he moves on. Even Drew is struggling, but then his salvage hunter instinct kicks in, and he spots something that could potentially make this trip worthwhile.
It's all his saddle stone.
These mushroom-shaped stones probably date from the 18th century and were used to elevate granaries and hay racks away from the ground to protect them from vermin. Today, they're very desirable ornaments, and garden designers will pay up to £350 a piece.
There's how many here? 1, 2.
Drew often finds 1 or 2 staddle stones, but Jeff seems to have a large number. This could be a great find.
Quite a few. How many is there? It's about 7 now, is there?
Yeah, it must be, at least 7 or 8.
These are all for sale, are they?
Yeah, he'll sell a few of them, yeah.
Oh, great.
But if Drew wants them, he'll have to deal with Mr. Tight Sr.
Is this the boss?
That's my father, yeah.
Hello there.
So,
Hi, Mr. Tight. Drew.
Type my name and type my nature.
yeah.
I like the staddle stones you've got. There's quite a few. I think there's probably 12 altogether,
Yeah,
and 10 that I can use.
yeah.
I think they've got tops and that aren't damaged on the bases.
About $2.25 a piece.
Really?
Yeah, we're going to start up somewhere.
You've got to start somewhere.
If
Yeah.
you
Let's
knock
start
too
really
much-
high.
So you knock too much off.
I want to buy all of them, so I need to get the price down as low as I can. What if I said I was going to take 10? What could you do if I took a big lump of them, a lot of them?
10.
I'd be after quite a discount, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
couple grand.
I was hoping to buy them and buy all of them, everything, for $150 each, which would be $1,500.
Yeah,
I'll pull out as many as I can. If I find more, I'll pay you the same for more of them. Because some are good. Some I'm going to make good money on,
yeah.
and some aren't so good. Some have got good tops and some have got no tops at all or a mismatched top. So it would be that sort of money. What do you reckon?
$175 a piece.
About $175 a piece. OK, I'll dig out as many as I can. Good
Okay.
deal. Enjoy that. It's good.
Finally, Drew has a good deal, but old Mr. Tight has a final surprise to let Drew know who's boss.
Cash.
Cash.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do. I can see what I can do. Have you got a bank nearby?
I expect so.
Yeah, OK. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
All right. You've got more of a shop in here as well.
Yeah.
I'm all right to have a poke around in here?
Yeah, of course you can.
OK.
Now formally invited, Drew wades into the house at a full-blown hoarder's den.
Where'd you start? Very difficult to take in. God, he collects anything, doesn't he? How much are these, Mr. Tight? These things, how much are these?
Opaline, or white glass, was popular in the 19th and early 20th century and is increasingly popular with designers at bars and restaurants. These could easily bring around £120 each.
£15 a pair.
Let me give you 30 quid for the pair.
He said he's going to give you £30 for the two of them.
£30.
Yeah, because he said you didn't ask enough.
Oh.
And I've never heard anybody say that about you before.
With the ice well and truly broken, Drew tries his luck with a slice of 50s nostalgia.
Hairdresser's chairs.
Mid-20th century furniture is growing in popularity, and Drew would have no trouble selling a pair like this for around £150.
What do you reckon? How much for these, Mr. Tight?
£40 a pair.
Yeah, they're OK. I think they're quite cool. Yeah, what'd you say, 40 quid?
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Drew has taken on his first hoarder and won, but there's no time to gloat as there are several tons of stones that need to be loaded onto the van.
I was just getting warmed up.
The van, as Julian would say, is on its arse, and it really is. I don't think we can get much more in there. It is full. This will throw us over the weight limit.
Glad Drew dropped by. He was a bit of a laugh. He had a bit of a laugh and a joke. Yeah, it was a good time.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Well, thank you very much.
I'm really glad I called in.
Yeah.
And any more you find in the garden, God knows where around here,
Yeah.
stick them on a pallet, I'll have them.
OK.
Just give me a call.
We'll do that.
We'll take the rest.
Back at base, the team can spot the signs of a good haul even before the van doors are opened.
It's pretty loaded.
It's dented it. Julian!
Come on, up. Loads of stuff. There you go.
Staddlestone.
Staddled.
Daddlestone.
Yeah.
Sales manager Mark and Drew's wife Rebecca know their garden mushrooms from their Staddlestones, but the question is, who will unload?
Jules?
That'll be Julian then. Bring on the forklift.
Where's the dog?
Inside.
All right. These are going to go straight in. Good, huh? Where'd you steal this one from? Try and get as much as we can on. You can give Mark a hand moving those out of the way quickly.
Where do you want them displaying in the showroom?
Put them in the building, not outside. And I think they look so much more interesting. But I bought some more stuff from him. Got these, which although they need a lot of resto, good polish, I thought they were a good look.
Restorer Gavin is charged with bringing the 50s hairdressers' chairs back to life.
See what you can do with this. And if you can't, we may strip them and just spray the frames. But more than likely, in that condition, a good polish, and we'll just put a glue patch in there underneath it. We got these from the same guy. I mean, they're a bit scruffy, but they're earlier than most. You see the seeds in the glass on these? So they're just a slightly earlier variation of that.
The Staddlestones are fantastic because you very rarely get more than one or two. To find 12 Staddlestones in the same place is a pretty good find, actually. And they're good sellers.
The stuff Drew's brought back today is quite varied. Good selection.
Another day, another hoarder. This time it's a 3-hour trip to Buxton. But this one makes old Mr. Tight look like a part-timer. Drew and Julian are off to meet Chris Sugden-Smith.
I am an inveterate hoarder. I probably hoard everything, actually. Anything that the work in it impresses me or that has a bit of age about it, I collect.
He's got a collection of stuff, from motorbikes to trucks to antiques to architectural fittings, farm machinery, modern, old, anything, and, joy of joy, doesn't sell anything.
Oh, well.
But I reckon I can get him to sell me something. My thinking is, if he's impossible to buy from, that means he's got loads of really good stuff he's never sold. So, isn't it my turn to have a go? This is the place.
Well, that was fun.
Can we get in here? Hi, Chris.
Ah.
Hi, Drew. We spoke on the phone earlier about some
do
stuff
you
you've
do?
got. How
How do
high?
you do?
Where would we start?
I'd start off in the field if you want.
Over here?
Vehicles, yeah.
OK, brilliant. Lead on. Blimey, you've got all sorts here, haven't you?
Yeah.
Finding places like this is still a thrill. You know, there was always a guy down the road who had a field full of old cars and old machinery or loads of old furniture or something.
My initial desire was to have a museum, and the main reason why I have all this ramble.
Chris has kept every single vehicle he's ever owned. They now rust in peace in his car graveyard.
My ex used to call it the herbaceous car park, as I park them up.
So all these have been yours?
Yes.
It may look like a dump, but to Drew, it's a field full of potential treasures.
Is this as far back as your little car graveyard goes, is it?
Yes,
This is it, is it?
does. That's the first row. I've really wanted to preserve it for the future.
Is this one you went chasing women in, that one?
Yes. Romantic interludes in the back.
In order to buy from Chris today, I need to find some common ground with him.
I'm not a dealer. I've never wheeled and dealed.
As with many hoarders, Chris is happy to show off his treasures. And unusual treasure they are too.
That is a cement mixer.
What's the interest in cement mixers, then?
I'm obsessed with them. I collect them.
Even for me, that's a real weird one. That's a real straight to the top of the list of nuts things to collect.
I've got 43, I think.
43. Somebody's got to collect them, I suppose.
Although it's a very small market, collectors are willing to pay up to £200 for vintage cement mixers. But they haven't really caught Drew's imagination, and he moves on. Drew and Julian make their way through the cars and brambles. Eventually, they spot a potential buy. Wrought iron gates.
I like that gate you've got shoved down the side of that green container there. All these gates are of interest to me, but this sort of estate gate, the bigger the better, sort of 10-foot plus is what we're after, but they're hard to get at that size. They aren't smashed to bits. But that one's OK.
These are highly sought after in home restorations and could easily fetch £500.
It's the big gate, but the little, I'll show you the little ones in the back of this pickup. It's a big gate and a little gate.
Yes. Yeah, that's good. OK. Yeah, this is my sort of thing.
Is it?
Yeah, this is the sort of thing I'm looking for. They're very early 20th century, say 1900, 1905. They're in pretty untouched original condition as well. They've had no welding, no cutting, nothing done to them, and they're a good height.
I can think about it, I suppose.
OK. The guy who never sells anything was like teetering on, yeah, I'm going to sell you these. And I thought, oh, great, I'm going to be able to buy this. OK, so where next, then?
And just go in the shed if you want.
Wow, that's fantastic. You've won the award for the best shed in Britain award here, Chris. It's this huge shed with 3 square feet on the floor that you can get in. That's it. You know, there's enough for 2 people to stand next to each other, and then it's just solid, straight up to the ceiling. You know, and there's this, like, lethal, upside-down, broken ladder to get up. And it's just packed to the roof full of stuff. Look at this place. God, it's fantastic. Trying to take all the sheer volume of stuff you've got here. Are these something you'd sell?
Yeah, I've actually got those for the horse girls to hang the clothes on.
Oh, right, OK.
I've not fitted them yet.
Not for sale?
No.
Not for sale, OK.
Inside the shed, Drew's beginning to realise just what he's dealing with.
I've come across lots of hoarders in the past, and there's always a project they're going to do. So I just thought, well, let's just start asking, let's just start throwing things out and saying, do you want to sell that? No. Do you want to sell that? No. How about this? No. Quarter-mile mark. Cool thing.
Mileposts are a favourite amongst railway collectors and can command £200 apiece.
Is that for sale, Chris?
No, I've not had that long, actually. That's something I bought at a railway auction.
OK. I like the bulkhead light you've got in there as well. Are those anything for sale?
They're just for installation here in time, actually.
So they're not for sale, those ones there? Are these something that would sell?
No.
No? That big signal you've got there, the big red-handled thing with the white on there and 24. I've got to ask, I know what the answer is, but is that for sale?
No.
No? OK.
I'm a dealer's nightmare, possibly, in that I won't part with everything.
There's so much stuff up here I want to buy. The frustration today is Chris knows I'm here to buy, and he won't let me buy anything. You could drive somebody around the bend, couldn't you? I could have a pot of gold this, but he's not going to sell me anything. He's not interested in money.
I've just got this fetish for keep hoarding and collecting stuff.
Every single piece of this, he loves.
Drew senses this hoarder is getting away from him and tries to bring the conversation back to what he thought was a surefire sale.
While we're up here and discussing things, then, what about the gates we found outside, the pair of double gates?
The uneven ones.
The uneven ones, so there'd be the pedestrian gate and the other gate as well.
They are really for the front of this property, actually.
Typical hoarder, I've got a project for them. I'm going to do something with them. He's got a lifetime of projects here if he lived to be 300.
Cutting his losses, Drew leaves.
I hate leaving empty-handed, but sometimes you have to know when to fold.
Be in touch, and I'm sure you will be.
You sure?
Yep.
OK.
Yep.
All right, good to meet you, Chris.
Nice to meet you.
It was a pleasure.
Well. I feel bad about not having sold him something, but I've made a friend and a fellow enthusiast today, so that's, you know, it's fine.
Today was absolutely bloody useless for making any money.
Yes.
I asked him about, what, 20, 30 items? Nothing, not interested. Doesn't seem like he's interested in money at all.
But this salvage hunter doesn't stay down for long and has a plan B.
I have a new lead, it's over 100 miles away, but I'd rather go and do that than face everybody with an empty van.
Drew and Julian point their van east towards Ellys Manor in Grantham, Lincolnshire. After 2 hoarders in a row, they're looking forward to dealing with someone who actually has things he wants to sell.
OK, so we're down in Lincolnshire. A pal of mine down here has given me a hot tip about a local guy who's rebuilding a manor house, been doing it for 30 years. He's got some overspill of stuff he might want to get rid of.
This building perfectly encapsulates the whole of early European and British history from the time of the Northern Renaissance. What we're trying to do now is to grow this into a cultural centre. Raising funds, it's very much what it is about.
It's another real odd lead.
Odd ones do work.
Yeah. Oh, is this it? Wow. Well, that's pretty damn impressive, isn't it? Look at the colour of the stone. Very unusual. Clive.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Drew. We spoke on the phone earlier about you have some antiques for sale, I believe.
Come on in.
Pretty amazing, dramatic building you've got here. Doesn't look British at all.
No, very continental. I'm amazed you've noticed. Most people think it's Jacobean, and I say to them, you need to look again.
No, it's a million miles away from Jacobean, isn't it?
Oh, much older and much further away.
Yeah. Houses like this in this country evolved over periods of time. So they'd have built, say, the main house, and then there'd have been other pieces built on and knocked down. And when they do that, pieces survive, pieces are put away. So there's always a maybe that there's something interesting.
Legend has it that there's one gargoyle, which is quite possibly the earliest bespectacled gargoyle in the land.
Really?
Yeah, and we keep a picture for the kids when they come round.
How old's that?
The tower was said to have been built in 1519.
Wow.
We suspect it's Ellys himself, because in all the early wills he said he was partially sighted or blind.
Is he looking over the place?
Yeah. Overlooking his building.
I had some beams in stock recently, and they had that same ending to the carving there.
With that chamfer at the end, we're looking at a 17th century. So we do feel that the ceilings were put in at a later date. This wall, this is said to go back to 14th century. Though this wall has been here, it belonged to another building.
So was this ceiling height being changed? What are those things there?
They imagine, the experts, and I say the experts because they come in and they try to read the building, that we had a coffered ceiling. This, as it stands, is too crude for the status of the house.
Would have had. So a coffered ceiling is panelling?
Exactly.
So it's like roof ceiling panelling?
Yeah. Okay. That's exactly it, a perfect description. And you can see where they've been cut off. And incidentally, if you trip there, don't be embarrassed, because that's a sword step. There's one which is about 2 inches higher than all the others.
Okay.
Because if the laird was being pursued, you'd dash up the stairs, his assailant would trip, and this bends to the right, so you'd turn with the sword.
I've never heard that. If I didn't call in here today, I'd not know that. This is incredible.
Well, these are said to be the most important and extensive in Britain. This is the emergence of the new middle classes.
Yeah.
I found it extremely refreshing talking history with him, because it also made me look at certain things from a different perspective.
So this is nouveau riche?
Exactly, exactly.
There you go. No, it's really staggeringly good.
Yeah.
So does this have national monument status?
Yeah, I have to look after these. Even though, yes, they look great at the moment, there's an awful lot of distemper, lime wash, which is still covering. Now, when all of that is professionally removed, it'll be phenomenal.
Clive is keen to show off the house, a huge and very expensive restoration project. This is a good sign, as it means he needs to sell things to raise cash.
The cost of restoring all boils down to money. We need to raise just over 100,000 to have the whole of the upper floor done.
Well, I think that would be money well spent. The paintings on the wall are really special. What he's looking after is British national heritage.
But so far, there's no sign of what's for sale.
Not for sale, obviously.
No, well, if you can get it off the wall. We do have a garage, and perhaps we should look in there.
Sheds and outbuildings and stuff we can have a look through. I need to be in the outbuildings and in the sheds, finding the little things that they're not using around this house anymore. What have you got in here, then?
This is our shed. There's bits and pieces.
And sure enough, motorbike enthusiast Drew spots a tarpaulin covering a very familiar shaped object.
Where did this come from?
Well, that's, I've had that for a long time now, as you can see by the tax disc down there.
1983, the last time it was on the road.
That's antique.
That's quite a layaway, isn't it?
Even in its neglected state, a motorbike like this can sell for £750.
6,500 miles.
Yeah. And that's a genuine 6,500 miles.
It's a single cylinder. Is it 500 yet? Should imagine the poor little thing's seized up now.
And next to the motorbike is something with a little less horsepower, but backs of charm.
I like this old bike you've got down here as well.
It's one of the early tradesmen's bikes. So that was here when we came, and we just put the name of the place on it.
That's quite a nice thing. An interesting old bike, actually. I can sell a bike like that. It's not my normal fare, but then again, what is my normal stuff?
With a little bit of spit and polish, this 1940s delivery bike could bring in around £250.
I'm not quite sure on the value of something like this.
I think what you've got to do is not so much think about what it is, but what it will do.
Unfortunately, this is where I'm going to have to differ.
Clive wants the best possible price to help pay for his restorations, but Drew isn't getting on board quite yet.
Is it worth 200 quid?
I can tell you it's a great deal more.
Is it?
Oh, my God, yes.
Yeah. So, what would you want for it?
Let's say 700.
Oh, £700. I'm not going to pay you 700 quid. 700.
Primarily now I'm concentrating on starting to get those wall paintings restored, because we owe it to the nation for them to be seen at their best.
What about the bike behind them?
Well, now, obviously, that has an intrinsic aesthetic value as an old piece.
So I'm thinking about buying the motorbike, you see. I'm thinking, well, up that a bit and then go in for the bike. The condition's not brilliant on this.
Do you think?
Yeah, it's all of it. But what has got other things going for it, it's original paint, all the original transfers and paintings and badges and everything on is all there. It's there, there's nothing missing. Obviously, I've got to make some money on it. I was going to say 450 on this one. And I'll push that one up to 2, and that gives you 650 for the pair.
As the negotiation falters, Clive plays his trump card.
Look, we're not that far. Why don't we say, and knowing what this is being turned into...
Yeah, it's going to turn...
Why don't we say 700?
Clive really did hit me with the ultimate sort of deal maker. I appreciate what he's doing, so... I really shouldn't have, but it's like, OK, fine, we'll go the extra mile. 700's fine.
OK.
Thanks, Clive, and I hope the money goes well.
It certainly shall. Yeah. I'll make very sure.
Motorbike enthusiast Julian takes charge of the scramble bike.
It's just an iconic shape, isn't it?
This is clearly going to be his restoration project. Drew gets to ride the push bike.
Oh dear. Grab hold of that.
Oh, look, there we go.
No, that's nice. Look at the sign in the middle. I really love what you're doing with the house. It's fantastic, and hats off to you. Yeah. And hopefully we'll see you again.
OK.
Cheers. OK.
I'll make some time when you're coming back.
All right. Thanks, Clive. See you again. Bye-bye.
Safe journey.
With the future of the medieval wall paintings a little bit more secure, Drew and Julian head back to base with their two-wheeled booty.
I enjoyed today.
What a guy.
I enjoyed looking at Clive's house. It was just really, really interesting.
Nobody can accuse you of just buying the same old, same old. What can you say?
It's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like the delivery bike, though, a lot. And I think we can turn that over quite quickly. It's not going to take more than a few hours to get that polished up properly, pump the tyres up, fix the punctures, whatever it needs.
Drew and Rebecca have been married for almost 10 years. Over this decade, Drew has learned that showing Rebecca the scramble bike first might be a bad idea. So the delivery bike is first off the van.
Which was for Gavin to restore.
Yeah. Ooh.
Basically, it's a delivery bike. Just needs a really, really good clean and a polish. Get that off, see if we can find an original seat. I've got a more original one somewhere in stock. Leave this on.
The Ellys.
There you go. It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's an Ellswick.
Really good clean and polish, and I've got the pump for that somewhere.
How old is it?
I'd say 40s.
But he can only put it off for so long.
I got one more thing from him as well. 1979 XT500.
When I saw that scramble bike, I thought, oh no, not another one. Mr. Pritchard, it's not for you.
No, it's not for me. It's more or less sold.
Thank goodness.
Luckily for Drew's marriage, he sold the bike to one of his motorbike enthusiast friends on the way home. The other items enter what Drew calls the production line, to get them from junk to desirable objects for sale.
The amount of effort that goes into the restoring and the photography and then the waiting and then having to usually get knocked down a little bit on the price and then the packing and the shipping and the payment. There's all that before, you know, from there, finding it in the shed, through to end user. It's never so easy.
Drew's recent encounters with hoarders have brought mixed success. Now he faces one of the most notorious in the country, John Lovell.
My grandmother bought the farm in 1948, and that developed into a second-hand farm machinery dealership, which lasted until recently.
John has an incredibly varied collection, and he opens it to the public at selected times. Many have tried to buy his objects and failed, but to Drew, those are fighting words.
Hi, Mr. Lovell.
Yes.
Hi, my name's Drew. Well, we're looking for things to buy. We're dealers and we're looking for architectural and decorative items and garden items. So just wondering if we're able to look around.
You can look around, but there's very little for sale.
John lays out clear rules as to where Drew and Julian can and can't go hunting.
All the sheds open, are we able to go through those?
Those are all open down there.
Yeah.
And I'll open that one when I move that tractor in a minute.
That'd be brilliant. OK, that's very good of you. Thank you very much.
All right.
I love this. It's not...
Early mobile workman's hut.
Yeah. It's cool, isn't it? I just saw it parked in my garden. Deck chair outside, radio going inside, glass of beer, and happy as Larry. Ho, ho, ho. Millions of spades.
Not like the wobbly lines that we do then.
Yeah. There's so much stuff in here. There's a lot to see, isn't there? Look at this. Bond microcar.
These 60s classics are hugely popular, and fully restored, a car like this could bring around £3,000.
44,000 miles.
Seriously?
44.
Every one of them terrifying, painful, cold and slow. There'll be somebody out there wants it, won't there?
Even though it only has 44,000 miles on the clock, Drew leaves this three-wheeler to its fate and moves on.
I've been round there. Oh, they're good. Just roof supports for a building.
Gotta be.
Something like that, aren't they?
Yeah.
Just internal supports for like an old garage. Cast iron. Too much. Too difficult.
Yeah.
He's found nothing yet, but Drew is in his element. This is raw salvage hunting.
John just has an assortment of stuff. I think the common theme is you're not going to see another one. For this type of digging, this is like the best. This is my favourite. Just felt like a kid again. There's so much stuff here. I really need to find some stuff now. I need to find something I can buy.
I've been to the back of beyond and found nebs.
There's nothing there. Have you been to that back far corner?
Yes.
You haven't? Go on.
I have.
Go back in.
Up yours, I've been.
Go on, go back in, or I've got to do it.
Not
You're
going.
in there now, go in.
No.
Right, I've got to go
Been there.
Come on.
You go.
Can't be that bad. You made a right performance out of that, didn't you? How do I get down from here without breaking my leg? They've checked it properly now.
You sure you're sure? You don't want to go back in and check it again?
No, no.
Just on the off chance?
No, there's nothing there.
All right, OK.
There's nothing there.
If you're sure.
Oh, hello. That's nice. This is a Georgian overthrow, either very late 18th century, early 19th century. And this would have been on the entranceway to your house or a church, but there'd be two pillars, and this would be between the two. So you'd have like an opening, and then this chap would be up there like that. Yeah? Either side of the pillars going down. You can see where it's been leaded in there. The overthrow was the rarest thing here today, and obviously for me the best thing as well. The Georgian period for me is the best. It's got the best design attributes to everything they built, from houses to fireplaces to lighting to furniture. It really is the period I like the most. He obviously knows what it is if it's down here.
We don't know if we don't ask, mate.
I want to get round to the other side of the yard. Just do this bit here and then we'll go round, OK?
And finally, the hunter finds some prey in a skip.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow, look at that. That is cool, isn't it?
In the skip?
I like that. In the skip, I reckon that's probably going to be for sale, yeah. I'll put money on it. So it's good. Base isn't broken. Mounting on the bottom's not broken. These will free up easy enough.
Yep.
I like it, it's good.
And then he spots another piece with potential. Things are looking up.
Not decorative.
They're pretty good, aren't they? I like these. There's a pair of them, yeah? Same size?
3, I think, mate.
No, that one's different. Isn't that one? Oh, no, it's the same. Just a good structural thing, but people can build projects, they can build porches and various things around the house with these. We'll ask him about those. I'm not going to drag those around the yard.
For a salvage hunter like Drew, it's all about finding special items that he knows will appeal to his customers. But when that item comes in multiples, even better. And it looks like Julian has just hit the jackpot.
Drew!
Yeah?
You need to see these, mate.
We found about 30-odd stacking chairs, but they're quite good-looking ones, particularly the green ones, and they've got the wood slats. They were just quite charming.
Some are worse, some are better.
Can you just count how many we've got that look like they're usable? It looks like there's about 20% of these are scrap.
Take slats off the bottoms to fix others.
These are ideal for a little pub, club, restaurant, that type of thing, aren't they?
Yep.
And
good.
the most important thing is, bizarrely, with all these little cheapy chairs like this, is they stack.
But when dealing with a collector like John, finding something is not the same as buying it.
Oh. Another one of these chairs. Oh.
Launch it.
Sure.
Yeah.
We've got 3 of those in the shop already. Don't break the wood.
Yeah. OK.
No, we're done here. Let's go through. Can we go in the sheds now?
Go on, then.
Oh, cool. Look at this. This is a great shed. This is brilliant. He's got tons of gear in here. I've got a feeling this is the bit he opens to the public and it's not for sale. There's a pair of bench ends down here, but they're really buried. I can't see if they're broken yet, but they look pretty good. Mr. Lovell has said not to move anything in this shed.
Until we've spoken to him and he can say, yes, move it, or don't move it, in which case we'll then find out whether we can even have it or not.
Respect what he says then, and
So.
let's leave it where it is. Let's go and ask him. That's going to be the easiest thing to do.
OK.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just as we were about to do the deal, I spotted an old trough in the corner of the yard. That's good, isn't it?
That's nice.
Not really exciting thing, beautiful, but it's exactly the sort of thing my customers want, and I could definitely easily sell it.
Drew sells troughs like these as planters to garden designers. An example like this could fetch as much as £150.
All the legs on it?
Certainly seem to be. Yeah, I can feel those on both sides when they continue across or not.
Wicked. Just a feeding trough, or well, it's just a water trough, isn't it? It's great looking, though. He doesn't seem too interested in that.
He's got the plough leaning on it.
Let's ask him. Down here, the old cast iron bath full of water on the side there. It's in really nice condition, so that's great.
Well, it's been in that store down the bottom for since about 1970, I would think.
Okay.
We had one stolen already, and that was even bigger than the one I've got now. No, he wouldn't be for sale.
Not for sale?
No.
OK.
We bathe our dogs in that.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Well, knew that was one was coming, you know, but had to ask. Behind the door, over there in the corner, there's a metal arch.
It's painted black, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, we've just done it.
You know what it is?
Around about 1860, I would think.
Yeah.
That was in the back garden.
It's a nice thing.
We're keeping it.
OK. All right, there we go. All right, well, there you go. That's that then, isn't it? Won't take an offer on it.
No, I should keep it.
And he knows what it's worth. And he knows what it is. The lamp we found right in the back, that was in the skip.
Yes, we put it there recently.
OK.
And that hadn't really been touched for probably 40 years.
Once rewired, this industrial uplighter could fetch as much as £350.
I'd give you £70 for the lamp. It's an industrial lamp, anyway, so it's come from a big old shed or something like that. It's not worth any more to me, but that's about fair for that one.
Yeah. Everybody has to live, and they only live by buying and selling as a rule. Yeah, you can have that.
Well, I think that's fair. OK, so a breakthrough. The man who never sells anything has sold me something. It may only be something you put on a skip, but the ball is now rolling. In the big shed, there's a pair of cast iron bench ends, white ones, lying flat on the floor.
Right, let's go out and have a look, shall we?
We'll have a look at those, yeah? We'll have to try and pull them out.
Yeah, all sorts of clutter in here.
I think what we're going to have to do is pull one of them out, because you could hardly see them. They're down there.
What you might call a human ferret.
He is a little ferret, isn't he?
Yeah, human ferret.
He's sort of ferret-looking, isn't he?
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Smells like a ferret. What do you think?
A nice heavy cast one, isn't he?
Yeah.
Are you OK with that?
Yeah. I just can't remember where they came from, but they're unusual, they're interesting.
All seems all right. Seems
OK. I got him.
Victorian cast iron is hugely popular. A pair of bench ends like these could fetch almost £400 when restored.
What do you reckon, mid to late 19th century?
I said late, you know,
Late.
1880 onwards, perhaps.
Late stylistically, aren't they?
And they would restore nicely.
They wouldn't need much, would they, to sort those out?
Well, you've got to get the right timber.
No, a decent pair. Would £75?
I was thinking more.
OK, well, how much would you like?
Certainly 100. You try and meet somewhere in the middle to suit both parties.
At least 100? Would 100 buy them?
I think you'd have a good deal there.
I think there's money to be made on those. OK. Thank you very much.
So, the man notorious for not selling has sold two things. Can Drew score a hat-trick?
I've kept them all these years in case somebody wants them.
Yeah.
They came out of a coach house about 1860, 1865.
OK.
Cast iron pillars are very popular with home restorers, and Drew has sold several similar pieces for £175 each.
We've taken down many nice houses and used to restore others, and this is what restoration partly is about.
Are these something you want to sell, or
I'd
are these
sell
to
those, yes,
be
I'd
sold?
sell them.
What would you want? There's three, but what would you want for the three? I always pay about £150 for a pair of columns. Three's an odd number, and, you know, I may get left with the one.
I would want 75 apiece.
75 apiece, 150. Can you do 200?
No, I think 75 apiece is
Sure.
fair money.
All right, let's have that. We'll have those at that.
Right.
That's fine.
Drew is definitely on a roll and goes in for his fourth purchase of the day.
And these are the chairs.
Drew's clients in the restaurant and bar trade will snap up these mid-century stacking chairs, which can easily fetch up to £40 each.
What would you want to give me for those?
£5 a chair. Everything else, he'd sort of knock me up a bit every single time. You know, knock me up, knock me up, knock me up every single time. So I went in low.
Yeah, I suppose you could have them, because I've got some others I've just got hold of, some upholstered ones. This is what it is in keeping these older things. It's, if I don't, somebody else will restore some of them. Otherwise, they may well remain in storage, out of sight, till I'm gone to ground. And the auctioneers have a lovely day, enjoying themselves. Unfortunately, probably at my expense.
Right, we're done?
We're done.
Finished?
We're loaded.
Good, I'm glad it took me ages to load that van.
Yeah, I can see the stress
you
and
had an
strain you
interesting
were under.
afternoon.
I've really enjoyed
and an
it.
interesting morning somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm glad we got your name and we were able to come over and see you. Thanks for that, John.
Thank you very much.
That was fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah, good bloke. No, did some proper old school salvage job, that was, wasn't it?
That was good fun. That was
Yeah.
proper work where we like to do it.
Finally, Drew can head home. His triumph over this infamous hoarder means he can now present the spoils of war to his awaiting team.
We went to a chap who had like a home museum, weird collection of stuff in his yard. So we had a sift around there and we got all these chairs off him. But we found in a skip, which is this. Nice, isn't it? Look at Ollie's little face.
Look at that.
Look at him.
So did you have to pay for that?
Yeah.
There was a reason it was in a skip.
No, it's great. I picked it out of a skip and I gave him £70.
I'll put it back in that skip. And charge you 70 quid.
Go on. Go back into your workshop. Go on.
The dungeon.
Go away now. Go on. Take it away.
The uplighter should keep electrician Ollie busy for a while, and there's a couple of jobs for restorer Gavin too.
I did some proper old-school scavenging about as well in his warehouse he had and found these right under piles of stuff.
Yeah, bench ends.
Pretty ones, though, aren't
Very
they?
pretty.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
Very good.
Lovely, aren't they? They're in really nice condition, no cracks, no breaks, nothing missing. Quite like the colour, don't want to mess
Just
with
a
them
good
too
clean.
much. Lovely.
Good find.
That's a good find.
Yeah.
Very good find.
More work for you, Gavin. Got 3 of these. Mind your fingers. Fingers. There you go. 3 of those. Do you know we're always asked for that sort of height? Perfect for a house.
Well, they
Yeah.
Some of them are broken like that, so you just got to replace them. We've got to wax them all and clean them all up and get all the excess rust off them. Quite nice when they're done. Believe it or not, these sell quite well, especially in the summertime. You don't have to do too much to these. Put a coat of clear wax over all the metalwork. Make sure it's nice and clean.
To the photography area.
Online sales manager Mark gets the pillars ready to be photographed and posted for sale. But his photo is missing a crucial ingredient, Drew's terrier, Enzo.
Enzo is going to be in the shop for scale, because these are quite large pillars.
Come on, come here.
Right, sit.
Stay, he's a good boy.
And as usual, it's not long before the new items begin to fly out of the door.
When it comes to hoarders, well, you win some, you lose some. It's been a good week. The Staddle stones I bought from the Tights, well, we've got a film producer in America who's interested in all of them. Those beautiful bench ends I got from John Lovell, they needed a lot of work, took a lot of time, but now it's restored and sold. The chairs have gone off to be used in a fashion exhibition in Berlin. Fantastic. The most unusual sale of the week has been the push bike we bought from Ellys Manor. It's going to go to an artist and she's going to paint it green, put a big parrot on the side and use it to promote her art gallery.
I can cycle it round Greenwich advertising the gallery when it's open, or just chain it up outside. And I'll make a basket for the front, and the dog can ride around. Come on, here you go. Oh. Maybe not now.
It's brilliant, I love it.